Welcome back. A research by fact-checking organization Africa Check says the number of Nigerian doctors registering in the United Kingdom has increased by 10% in the past year. That's double what it was in previous years. Since June last year, an average of 12 qualified Nigerian doctors signed up to work in the UK every week. In the 5 years before 2016, around 200 Nigerian doctors registered in the UK annually. But in 2017, that number jumped to 439. It is not clear why the numbers increased so rapidly, but brain drain of this kind is a huge challenge for health systems in Africa. Nigerian broadcasters have been challenged to adhere to the rules of objectivity, balance and fairness in the current political and social atmosphere. This challenge was thrown by the chairman of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, Mr. John Momoh, at the opening of the 69th General Assembly of the Body of Broadcasters in Lagos. Mr. Momoh, who is the chairman CEO of Channels Media Group, also pointed out that in the current climate of misinformation and falsehood, journalists are required to show greater transparency and accountability to make the difference. Also at the event, the representative of the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission's Director General, Mr. Modibo Kawu, also warned against broadcasting of content that promotes divisions and threatens the unity of Nigeria.
In the social and political circumstances that we live in, the broadcaster should strive to be a medium of moderation in such a way as to relay information with decorum, with logic of perspective, and to be dispassionate in news reporting. Last time I checked, our rules and codes of practice break this down as balance, objectivity, and fairness. As broadcasters, we could do more to support greater media literacy among the public by explaining the complex world we now live in, as well as better explain how we report it, own news judgment. Greater transparency and greater accountability are much needed in the current climate of misinformation, political lies, and widespread distrust. But, above all, the strength of the broadcaster's case to trust us, not them, will lie in sharp, confident, fair reporting. That means journalism that is differentiated, journalism that breaks from the pack, one that is clearly in touch with the public concerns and attitudes, and that which is confident in holding the powerful to account and calling out lies or spins.
As the county approaches the election campaign period, it is the responsibility of the broadcaster not to fuel the situation by broadcasting divisive rhetoric that threatens and compromises the corporate existence of Nigeria as a sovereign state. Otherwise, the necessary social context for the conduct of free and fair election will be eroded. In compliance with the provision of Section 9, subsection 1D of NBC Act, Cap 11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, while granting license to each and every broadcaster, there was an undertaking that the license shall be used to promote national interest, unity, and cohesion. That it shall not be used to offend the religious sensibilities or promote ethnicity, sectionalism, hatred, and disaffection among the people of Nigeria.
As the nation's general elections draw closer, it has become increasingly imperative for Nigerians to be better enlightened on the electoral process. Towards this end, the media has the responsibility of informing the citizens about political parties, candidates, and the requirements for voting, among other things. This was a submission of the national chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, at the opening of the 69th General Assembly of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria. Also at the event, a former Nigerian ambassador to the UK, Dr. Christopher Kolade, pointed out that the media cannot help curb hate speech through legislation. Rather, he says it is a better understanding of what the Nigerian Constitution states about living in peace and harmony that will effectively address the issue. The event was declared open by the Lagos State Deputy Governor, who represented the governor.
If the broadcast industry wants to address the problem of hate speech, we've all got to understand that you cannot legislate it. You cannot pass a law that says there must not be hate speech. Well, you can pass it, but you can't effect it. What we can do, however, what I want to suggest, Chairman, is that we know that hate speech is injurious to our joint endeavor. We know that hate speech can jeopardize the success of what we want to do together. We know that if we want to live as our Constitution says, we the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, having firmly and solemnly resolved to live in unity and harmony, we know that hate speech will not let that happen. And yet that's what our Constitution wants us to do. And because we know this, we need to address the problem from its roots.
It is the sacred responsibility of the media to provide avenues and opportunities for citizen participation, political inclusion, and empowerment. The media should avail voters of adequate information about the electoral process and informed analysis on policies, political parties and their candidates to enable the citizens make informed choices. To fulfill this obligation, the media have a duty to subject the electoral process to scrutiny and to provide public education on the activities of the election management body and other electoral stakeholders in order to hold all of us to account.
While artists all over Africa have gathered in Senegal for the Dakar Festival, which opens this night, that's something to look forward to on Network Africa tomorrow, when we'll be bringing you the work of Senegalese artist Alioune Badara Sarr. That's it on Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temitope Fagbemi.